Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, the most unusual smells that you can't stand.
Also, how many marriage proposals is too many?
All that and more on the way next. We've got a special guest joining us today. It's Hudson and Allie, and a chance to catch up with Andrew from Project 86. Andrew, you've got the new book, the Omni novel out, and we've got to talk about it. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a minute and always a pleasure. Thanks for thinking of me and all those good things. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this new book that I just finished. It was many years in the making.
Yeah, the pleasure is all ours, Andrew. So first of all, most people know you from Project 86. They're going to know all your music, and you've written a ton of songs over the years. But how is writing a novel like this different from all the songs that you've written?
It's definitely a bigger task. This took about 4 years to finish, and I had written several books along the way, but never a novel. I actually did write one back in 2002 when we released our third album, Truthless Heroes, but I never released it. I just wasn't happy with how it turned out. Yeah, it was a lot of work. It's the only time I've ever put so much time into a project and had it never come out. So there was always that itch in the back of my mind, like I gotta do a novel at some point. It was a little intimidating at first. Of course, I've read a lot of fiction over the years, but when you get into writing fiction, or in this case, a version of fiction that's also based upon reality, there are so many more things to consider than writing a song or even writing autobiographical content. Because I just released another book. I actually wrote 2 books at the same time, which I'll never do again. That was crazy. I released another book called I Need Truth.
Okay.
And that dropped about 6 months ago. And that's basically an autobiographical journey through my music career, right? Project 86.
Yeah.
Much easier to write that. Much easier.
That's right. I guess you don't have to worry about continuity or anything like that, right?
Yeah, you're just telling what happened.
Yeah.
You know, when you're writing a novel, you know, there are so many other things to consider, you know, character development, dialogue, you know, the evolution of a story. You know, how do I keep people engaged? Is this believable but also fantastic? Are all the plot lines internally consistent? Are you resolving those plot lines in a satisfactory manner? Are you keeping the pages turning? Are you creating cliffhangers at the end of each chapter? You know, there are so many considerations.
Right.
But most of it revolves around story structure, right? So it is similar to writing lyrics in a sense, insofar as you are still taking the listener or the reader, in this case, on a journey, and you want to keep them engaged, but you have to keep them engaged over a much, longer period of time, across many pages, right?
I guess so.
Versus a 3 to 5 minute song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very different there. Well, Andrew, I was going to tell you, I am a huge reader, and this year I've been trying to read 100 books in a year, so I'm adding Omni to the list.
Cool.
But I wanted to know from you, there's so many people that tell me all the time they struggle to read, and one thing that helps them is if it's an audiobook. So do you have any plans in the future to make Omni an audiobook?
It's interesting. I recorded an audiobook for I Need Truth.
Yes,
the other
I
book
saw
I
that.
Yep.
And I didn't mean to plug that any harder than Omni. I know we're talking about the Omni novel, and we will. I got to give you guys my elevator pitch at some point here.
Yeah.
But I recorded an audiobook. It was also my first audiobook for I Need Truth. And it's double the page length than Omni. So it took quite a while to record. And there was, I think on the daily, when I sat down to do it, because it was something that I offered as a pre-order. So I was obligated to do it. Every single day I sat down, and the first mistake I would make in dictating and reading, right, I would go, why did I do this to myself? Every single day. So if the demand is there for the audiobook for this, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I totally realize audiobooks have become a lot more popular in recent years as attention spans have waned.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm a longtime reader, and it is hard for me to finish books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for me to start them and read the first 50 pages. But, and maybe this is just me, but it's very difficult for me to find either a title or an author that I enjoy enough to finish it, right? So
no, yeah, that's not just you.
it's on the table.
Yeah.
To do an audiobook. I just on my end, my audience have purchased way more of the print copies than anything else.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I just released an ebook. It's just a PDF, but of the Omni novel. We'll see how many of those we sell. If we have some demand for an audiobook, we'll definitely do it. It just released, so we'll see. And this is a self-publishing situation, so I need to feel like it would warrant the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, attention. If your attention, everybody's attention span is getting shorter, including Andrew's for recording.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work. We talk for a living. We get it.
Yeah, we definitely get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I wish you guys could have seen me every day. Why? Why did I agree to do this to myself?
We live in recording like things that are 30 seconds or less, and the amount of takes we have to do to just
So
get that right. So we totally get it. Omni is the new novel from Andrew, a Project 86. So give us, like, obviously you can't give too much away, of course. And I'm sure it ties in quite a bit to the Omni album that you put out, the double album. But, give us, convince somebody who's on the fence right now why they should pick up Omni, the new novel.
So if you enjoyed the music, Omni is a double album, Omni Part 1 and Part 2. And this novel is based upon Omni Part 1. So directly tied to the lyrics, it's definitely an exposition of every song. So each song has a chapter. So from a simple aspect of being a fan of the music, or if you enjoy the music, this will give you an enhanced experience because it will show you, hey, this is what's being explored in the song. From a story standpoint, the premise is this. A big tech company rises to power, becomes a global technocracy. The corporation is called Omni. Every good piece of futurism or sci-fi or dystopia needs an evil corporation, right?
Yes,
so,
of course.
Omni is a big tech company. Think, Google meets Meta. And they come to power on the back of a series of wildly popular apps they invent. And this story revolves around their latest application, which is about to drop, which is rumored to expand human lifespans. So there's a transhumanism element to this entire thing. And the story follows the main character, the lead character, the protagonist, is an influencer for Omni Social Media, which is the final remaining social media company. And it sort of documents his rise in popularity and his becoming increasingly aligned with the technocracy as someone who was raised in a traditional and it's more implied than direct Christian family. So the real premise and the real exploration in the novel is what would happen if we were each given the opportunity to live forever or cheat death through digital means, and what would it say about human nature if that were possible. So it's definitely a sort of a mind-bending kind of journey. There's a lot of AI involved, and it's definitely exploring mankind's true self, basically, and who we are as human beings, especially apart from God.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I know. Yeah.
I'm excited to read it.
It's working. It's working. I just hope that this is more of a science fiction fairy tale, and it we don't get too real with it. You know what I mean? like that we don't live through too much of this in our lifetimes.
I'm seeing some parallels.
It's definitely based upon a lot of observations and pieces of content that I absorbed along the way, and even some real life characters and scenarios that seem to be presenting themselves increasingly every single day.
Yeah.
You know, our relationship with AI is evolving quickly.
Yeah.
And obviously there are a million films and books and television shows out there that delve into this. And I tried to take a patchwork of all, create a patchwork of all those influences and tell my own story that has a bit of the biblical narrative transposed, or at least the theory of the biblical narrative about what things might look like in the future. Current events, there's a lot of that going on, mixed with, fantasy or sci-fi.
I like it.
Love it. Love it. Well, check out Omni, the novel. We will have the link posted everywhere here, RadioU.com and in the app and et cetera, et cetera. So make sure you check out the new novel from Andrew from Project 86. Thanks for joining us, Andrew. We're excited to check it out.
Visit us, project86.com. Go to the store. You can pick up a copy in print or ebook at this point. If there's demand, I may do an audiobook at some point. It sounds fun to me when I'm talking about it right now.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. It's Project 86 on Radio U. The USDA is using Adam Driver to scare wolves. Is there anything that man can't do? 877-2 Radio U. Let me give you some backstory. The United States Department of Agriculture is trying to control not necessarily the wolf population around Yellowstone Park, but they're trying to control where the wolves go around Yellowstone Park. And this is a problem that goes back as long as Yellowstone has been a park.
Okay.
They've had issues managing wolves.
Okay.
First, there was too many. Then there was not enough. Then there was too many coyotes. Now we're getting the wolves back, and now we're back to there might be too many wolves, at least in places we don't want them. And so they're trying to use different tactics to scare the wolves away.
Okay.
Using big speakers, treating the wolves like terrorists being interrogated, basically. And so they have been blasting, one of the things they've been blasting out of these speakers in areas where they don't want wolves is the fight scene from Marriage Story.
Oh, no.
That with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson going back and forth. So I don't know if this is a compliment to them or an insult that they're being used to frighten wolves.
I mean, I think it's a compliment that their acting is so good. It sounds like a real fight. And it is, I guess, scary enough to the wolves that it'll discourage them from going into places they're not supposed to go. What I would find interesting, though, is if like you're a visitor to Yellowstone and suddenly you're hearing people fighting and you're like, where's that coming from?
Yeah.
That'd be a little odd, but hopefully this isn't where people are, trekking to.
I mean, I don't know exactly where they have these speakers set up in regards to where people are, but the problem is that there's a lot of wolves and they've become they're concerned they're becoming too comfortable around people.
Okay.
So they're trying to use this loud and intense fighting from Marriage Story to make humans sound scary and dangerous to the wolves.
I feel like that could backfire.
If they get used to it?
Well, not only if they could get used to it, but also in the other direction where they get so annoyed by it, they're like, let's kill all the humans.
Yeah, that's right.
Get them out of here.
That's a good point. That could be a problem.
The wolves are trying to protect their peace.
Yeah. Seriously, the wolves just want to hang out and eat elk or whatever. and here are us blasting a Marriage Story at them.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't want to be in the wolves' position.
No, that would not be a very fun experience. So, I mean, hopefully it is encouraging the wolves to go somewhere else where they should be. But yeah, I was like, maybe you need to be worried if you're Adam Driver, never show up to Yellowstone. You might regret the day you were born. You might have some
enemies.
Yeah.
You'd have to go all Liam Neeson in The Gray on them. Some of the other things they've been using. So this is the Marriage Story scene isn't the only one.
Okay.
They've also been using the sounds of gunshots and fireworks. So that's what Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are like. That's
what they mimic.
That's the company that they're keeping.
Yeah.
Also, AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
Oh.
That would be scary if you're a wolf.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of song that like plays before like an attack is about to happen. I'd be worried that like helicopters were going to come in and I don't know, that like troops were going to drop down and attack me if I was a wolf.
Yeah, it definitely plays before an attack because the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders do it right before the Cowboys get slaughtered by whoever they're playing. Yeah. So, yeah,
if the Wolves are football fans, they know what's coming.
They know what's happening.
You might remember this guy. We've talked about him before. His name is James Howells. He is the man in the UK that claims that he threw away a hard drive that had what today would be worth $950 million of Bitcoin.
Yes, I remember this guy.
He threw it away in 2013 while cleaning his office. He says it was an accident. He swears he definitely had this hard drive and he definitely threw it away. And he knows which landfill he swears it's in. And he's been, for most of the last 12 years, trying to petition or find some kind of way to be able to search this landfill to be able to get his Bitcoin hard drive.
Yeah.
And find his fortune. But after 12 years, it seems that he's finally giving up.
Yeah, I think this finally proves that it might have been all just fool's gold in the end. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't believe that he probably did have a hard drive that got, accidentally thrown away. Mm-hmm. But I just think it's crazy that he ever thought he could recover this. Because not only has it been 12 years, but it's also been in a landfill. And so it's like, it has to be entirely compromised by now.
You would definitely think. Now, I would think the same thing. But if there's even a 1% chance that there's nearly $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that could be recovered, how much would you spend? How far would you go to try to get that $1 billion of Bitcoin? But he just posted on Twitter. He said, for over 12 years, I tried everything to engage with New York City Council public proposals, percentages, mediation, legal action, and a formal 25 million pound offer. $1 billion, and they ignored it all. No response, no logic, no leadership. They want me to give up, but I'm not leaving.
Oh, he's not giving up.
But he is done asking permission. That's what he says. But he's not.
What is he doing now?
He's going to stop trying to search the landfill and see if you know enough about Bitcoin to make a sense of any of this. He says, so I'm tokenizing the entire wallet, 8,000 Bitcoin into 8 billion Seniog coin. INI, 1-to-1 Satoshi value match. It sounds like he's speaking a different language.
I don't know. Yeah, this is all foreign to me.
Built on Bitcoin, powered by OP Return, integrates with Stacks, Runes, Ordinals, launching late 2025. The vault is mine, and I say the show goes on.
What in the world are you talking about, James?
I don't know. If this is so simple, why didn't you just do this?
I know. Why didn't you do this 12 years ago if you could access it through a different, Bitcoin? Because I think that's what he's trying to say, but I also don't know if that's what he's trying to say.
I have no idea.
It's all going over my head.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What?
Cope.
Yes.
He's coping.
Good word there.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is him. He's like, I'm not giving up. I am giving up, but I'm going to try to get some money off. It sounds like to me he's trying to make money off of other people now.
Yeah.
And it's
off of his fame that he's gotten from this.
Yeah. He's like, people will they trade my token, right? Whatever it is. I don't know. Somebody that understands cryptocurrency could be listening and go like, you guys are idiots. But then again,
admittedly, we are. We do not know anything about Bitcoin.
Answer my question though. If he could just do this and like make his money, why didn't he just go through this? This seems a lot easier than trying to search an entire landfill.
Right.
So if you could make any money off of the thing, I don't understand it.
No, I don't get it. I think this is as you pointed out, cope, but also just maybe delusion.
The math ain't mathin' on this. I don't know much about crypto, but I know that. I know this math ain't mathin' to me. But good luck to him.
Sure.
He's poured 12 years of his life into this.
Yeah, he's had a lot of stress over the last 12 years trying to get this.
He deserves a win. How many marriage proposals would it take before you finally just gave up? 8772 Radio U. I have a couple here in the UK sharing their story of how they got married after the 43rd marriage proposal.
What?
Allie's eyes just popped out of her head.
That's crazy.
And I showed you this already. It's still shocking.
Yeah, because 43 times is insane.
Mm-hmm. Who even has time for that?
Who has time for that? And also, what guy is not giving up after, like, I don't know, 5?
Yeah.
5 times?
I'll tell you what guy. This guy. A guy that's in love.
Very in love.
This couple's from the UK. The woman's name is Sarah. The man, Luke. They're now in their late 30s. And they're sharing their story now. They got married earlier this year, back in May.
Okay.
I believe they got engaged in 2023. That was the 43rd marriage proposal that Luke had made to Sarah. And she finally said yes. The story going back to the beginning is when they started dating, he proposed after 6 months because he was already he knew.
He was in love.
He knew she was the one.
Okay.
But she said they had both gotten recently out of serious relationships. And so at the time, it just didn't feel right.
Okay.
And then he went through a string he was doing these elaborate proposals over and over again.
Just for her to say no?
Yeah,
That's
because
so
he was trying to prove to her how serious he was.
Oh.
And trying to, convince her to say yes. And eventually...
And she kept turning him down.
He rented out a castle in Prague in the Czech Republic.
Why was this girl turning him down?
She wasn't ready.
She wasn't ready. Well, just because you're engaged doesn't mean you get married right away.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a long engagement.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's also a big step. So.
It is a big step, but I just feel like this is a little dramatic to turn somebody down 43 or 42 times, technically. That's, yeah.
I feel like so eventually what happened was she talked it, they had a talk, and she's like, you need to stop with the proposals.
Yeah.
We just have to wait on this for a while. And then eventually the proposal that did win her over, I guess he did take a break for a while. So then this next one was unexpected.
Oh.
So 42 proposals in, she's like, you need to pause. I feel like you would have had that conversation maybe sooner.
Maybe a little before then.
And looking at the stuff he was doing too, the money he had to be blowing on setting these things up.
That's what I'm thinking. None of this could have been cheap.
No. But... this is so sweet. They were in Greenwich, London, where the Eastern and Western hemispheres meet to form the base of the Greenwich Mean Time Zone. And he hired a busker to play her favorite songs and said, "This is the center of the world." That's debatable. "And you are the center of my world, and I want you to marry me." And that's when he won her over.
Wow.
And she said yes, and then they got married.
So not even the most elaborate proposal,
nope,
just more
pretty simple,
sentimental and, personal, and that's how it got done.
That maybe there's a lesson to be learned there.
I think so.
But now she's saying after they've been married, she's like, I want this to be a lesson to the other ladies out there. She says, if they're the one, they'll put in the effort. You don't have to say yes if you're not ready. You can say, not right now. I think that's true. I think that's a good point.
I think that's
true. But also
true.
42 times is a lot of times.
Yeah, don't let your boyfriend have to go through it 42 times before you finally have a talking to with him to be like, hey, you know what? All this money you're spending on these proposals, just give me a little bit more time. It's it's nice that you're doing these things, but I'm just not ready yet. Maybe you should have had that conversation after 2?
Yeah.
1?
2 is an unusual amount for most people.
Right, right. I think 1 would be enough to let him know, hey, I'm not ready for this yet. It's not that I don't want to marry you.
It's not no forever.
Yeah, so this seems a little bit like maybe she's obsessed with herself. I don't know.
Maybe say, instead of not right now, give him a specific time frame. It's time to open up once again the RadioU hotline.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Get in the group chat and let us know A smell that you can't stand.
Ooh, I know one.
I was just thinking about how Zafira the dog got sprayed by a skunk for the third time
Yes.
this past week. And what are some other smells? Maybe some skunk, pretty obvious. Most people don't like it, although until Zafira the dog got sprayed and she experienced it firsthand, Mrs. Hudson would tell me she likes when she was like driving and she'd smell a skunk.
What?
Yeah. I bought her a skunk candle once.
That's crazy.
As a joke, because she was like, I like that smell.
Oh,
but
no
then
thanks.
Her mind changed, I think, once she experienced it up close and personal.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But what are some other smells that other people might not think about that you just cannot deal with? 8772 Radio U, we want to hear from you. I feel like we're going to be surprised here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has personal preference, clearly. You know, Mrs. Hudson with a crazy take there. No, I'm kidding. But
no, it's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I feel like everybody has different things that they enjoy and also dislike. Because I know some people that are allergic to like certain smells. Certain smells make them, sick. There could be essential oils that make them get stuffed up or get a scratchy throat or something like that. So something that smells good to somebody else could smell awful to someone.
That's a good point. This is a good example. Philip is the first one to text in at 8772 Radio U. You're not going to like this, Sally. He says soda and popcorn from the theater trash.
I mean, nothing smells good out of the trash, but I would say popcorn smell is one of my favorite smells.
I know.
Especially like the movie theater popcorn.
When you're walking into the movie theater and you get that blasted in the face of the popcorn smell when you're walking in.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling to me.
Yes, it is.
So I don't know. I never walked by the theater trash and was like, that smells extra bad.
I don't think I've ever smelled it from the trash. So yeah, I don't know exactly how that.
Maybe it's the soda and popcorn mixing, like the soggy popcorn.
Does that create a smell?
I don't know. It's some kind of reaction. We have more people texting in. We want to hear from you. What is a smell that you cannot stand? We have the Radio U hotline open.
8772 Radio U.
Talking about smells that you cannot stand. So far, we already heard from Philip, who said the smell of soda and popcorn in the trash at a movie theater. He clarified, he says he used to work at AMC.
I think that would, if you're overexposed to some type of smell, you would get tired of it really quickly.
And I think smell, they say it's the strongest sense tied to memory.
Yep.
And when you have a smell that you really associate with something you don't like doing, like taking out the garbage,
right,
then that's just going to make you hate the smell even more.
Yes. Anytime you smell that, you go back to those memories.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Dylan says cat litter infuriates him.
I know. I'm with you on that.
There's certain cat litter that I think smells good. Like there's like scented ones you can get, but I also know people that hate the scented ones. So I think, again, it's really up to personal preference because there's so many different options with cat litter.
Cat litter drove me crazy when I had a cat growing up because it smelled bad. And then it would like track so far away from where the cat litter box was. My thing, and I haven't had a cat in so long, I don't know if this exists still or like how expensive it is or blah, blah, blah. But we went through a time where we had newspaper, like it was newspaper turned into cat litter.
Yeah.
And it didn't smell at all.
Yep.
And it didn't track anywhere. And that was the bee's knees.
Yeah,
that was the cat's pajamas.
You can get that type of like paper or like sawdust or something similar to that.
I think
for
they
cat
called
litter.
it. I think they called it Yesterday's News.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
That's an interesting name.
Scott says perfume, but he said something in front of it that I don't know what it means. Petrol?
Yeah, I was like, does he mean petrol, which is like gas?
Or patchouli?
Patchouli, we don't know. Is it an Italian word? We need clarification there, Scott.
I understand that patchouli can be a lot.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Yeah, you would know it if you smell it, I think. Like,
okay.
You've definitely smelled people that smell like patchouli. I don't want to go through describing the type of person that might smell like patchouli. They might look a little more on the hip, the hippie side of things. Maybe, but also some like, I don't know. I feel like it's more older women also would wear. I don't really know, but
these are very vast descriptions.
Yeah.
Completely opposite. Well, Daryl picked mine, not the first one, but he gave us two. He said vinegar and sauerkraut.
Interesting.
Sauerkraut's mine. I could never stand the smell of sauerkraut. My mom loves it. That those German roots coming strong.
Yeah.
But she would make it, especially during like the holidays. And I would be like, please get it away from me.
Interesting.
I just do not like the smell of it.
I don't know if I could picture the smell of sauerkraut, but I wouldn't eat straight up sauerkraut.
Well, sauerkraut, I think it needs to like almost like sit for a while.
Simmer.
Yeah, well, not simmer, but like it needs to. I'm trying to think of the word, but when
marinate.
Or like when you make out when they would make alcohol and it just needs to sit for a long
ferment.
Yeah, it needs to ferment, and it just like over time starts to smell really, really bad, in my opinion. So yeah, sauerkraut is my pick.
Check these out from Susanna. She says she also, like Mrs. Hudson, likes skunk from a distance.
This is crazy. I do not understand that.
Then she says she can't stand the smell of waffle cones cooking at Jenny's.
Okay.
Or the smell of cookies when they finish baking.
What?
I know. This is so opposite.
I love the smell of cookies. Anything cookie dough, cookies, anything. I always like get the scents that smell like baking from like Bath and Body,
Yeah.
Like the candles that smell like the baking.
That's always a good smell.
Yeah, fresh cookies.
I knew we were going to be surprised when we were doing this.
Yeah. There's a lot more in here still.
Yeah, we should get to some more. And some of I'm reading ahead, some of these are really surprising too. So we'll have to bring this back.
Yes.
Keep texting in at 8772 Radio U since you cannot stand, and we'll see more of what people are saying coming up. We also have the Radio U hotline open.
8772 Radio U.
Asking what are some smells that you can't stand. Bonus points if they're particularly unexpected. We've heard a lot of good comments already, and let's pick it up with Max, who says, and this feels universal.
Yeah.
Max says the smell of a rotting dead animal.
Yeah, just anything dead doesn't really smell good.
It's so recognizable, and the worst when you walk in your backyard and there's like a bird that fell to its death or something like,
Right, or a squirrel or something that's dead there. It's just like,
yeah, that really stinks.
Really gross. Heard from Jamie. She says she doesn't like the smell of boba, but she loves drinking it. And she says her sister-in-law says tapioca.
Interesting.
What she doesn't like.
I don't know if I can think of a food that I don't like the smell of that I still like eating.
Still like eating, yeah, because I think the smell often is a huge part of taste. People don't realize that taste and smell very tied together a lot more than we think. And so sometimes if you are already overcome by the smell, like you don't want it because of the smell, it's really hard to then taste it and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm such a nervous eater about trying new things. So if I'm smelling it and it doesn't smell good, then I'm just going to not want to try it at all.
Right. If you want to laugh at Hudson being a nervous eater, go and watch the video of Hudson trying deviled eggs for the first time on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that made me nervous. Nicole says lavender is a smell that she can't stand. She says everyone loves lavender, but I just don't. And she also agrees with you on sauerkraut, Allie. She says when we were young, my brother and I would hide it when my mom bought it.
Oh, no.
So that they didn't have to smell it.
Yeah, it doesn't smell great. But also lavender is another one that I pointed out earlier, how there's some essential oils that are just too strong for people, and it kind of makes them a little bit sick. Like it could get them stuffed up or like a sore throat. And lavender is one that can do that to people.
I think with like some certain flowers, particularly the flower themselves, you probably wouldn't bother you too much.
Yeah.
But the artificial
concentrated
smell of the flower does not actually smell that good.
Right. Yeah. Susanna, she's doubling down. She says she despises baking scented lotions and candles, especially if it includes a coffee scent.
That's so crazy.
All of this is going against everything I love, Susanna, because I love coffee scented candles. I don't know if I've ever tried any lotions that are coffee scented. That's probably not what I don't personally want to smell like coffee, but if my house smells like coffee, I'm fine with that. So even though I don't drink it.
Yeah, that's what's actually crazy. You don't even drink coffee and you love the smell. And Susanna loves coffee, I know, and she can't stand the smell of it. The smell of coffee scented things anyways.
Yeah, I just think coffee grounds, like the beans and the grounds, like it just smells so good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I want to skip to Eric, who says uncooked fish and seafood. He loves seafood after it's cooked, but the smell before it's cooked is revolting. And we're just a second ago talking about foods that you would eat even if you don't like the smell.
Yeah.
That's probably seafood for me. It is tough to go to a store that has a seafood section.
Yep.
And smell that. But then I love crab cakes. I like lobster.
Right.
So I like a lot of fish.
But it doesn't smell like that once it's cooked.
No,
I think
yeah,
that
that's
is
true.
a distinction there. So once it has been cooked, it no longer really has that bad fishy smell. We also heard from Max again. He says he hates floral candles, just anything that has a floral scent.
That's fair. That's not usually what I go for.
Yeah.
And then Bryn said that she hates the smell of fake maple syrup. It triggers my gag reflex.
Interesting.
Yeah. Are you Canadian like me? And like that's got to be pure.
Yeah, I was going to say that's given pure Canadian vibes. It's like, if it's fake, get it away from me. I gag.
You must at least be from Vermont. Love them or leave them on Radio U Mornings. 8772 Radio U. We'll need your advice on this one, where we have a guy who says he and his wife got married about 2 years ago. And since they got married, she's become an influencer.
Oh.
Here's the situation. They've been married for 2 years. They've been dating, in total, they've been together for 6 years. After about a year of marriage, something changed. My wife began posting on social media multiple times a day and is slowly growing a following and making a tad bit of money. I'm super happy that she's found something she enjoys and is passionate about. But here's where things get iffy. I, personally, this guy, hate social media.
Oh.
Yeah, I scroll, but I have zero desire to create TikTok or Instagram content. I used to post a tiny bit, sharing with friends and family, but it was always on private. I've not posted in years, but for her, the pictures, videos, and TikToks became daily, multiple times a day for her, and I have zero interest in posting. She's not, or he says she's not posting to share with friends and family. It's for the public.
Yeah.
Here's where things get even more messed up for him. I get told that I do not support her because I have no desire to be in videos and pictures for the public. It's just not my thing. Call me crazy. I also don't like getting sent videos of couples creating content and her telling me, why can't you be like that?
Oh, no.
I've sat through countless photo and video sessions, and all I ask is that I support from a distance and am respected with my desires, because my view is, I know you support me in my career, but I don't expect you to sit there and help me with my work. So why should I have to participate in yours? I feel like that's a pretty fair view, he says. It also makes me frustrated and sad when we go to try to do anything together and it turns into a TikTok or photo shoot. For example, we went to a football game where the first hour and 30 minutes was just taking photos and videos of her. And then once we were done with that, I sat there while she was editing, completely unengaged from our date.
Oh, that's so sad.
He says, I've tried to do compromising of, hey, let's spend part of your part of the time making your content, and the second part can just be us experiencing through our eyes and not the camera. But there's been very little movement. Finally, we have a road trip planned for the East Coast coming up this fall, and she brought up talking about a compromise, where I said that either certain days or times of day I could be the video camera guy, but other days and times would just be us enjoying time together. I was told that wouldn't work for her, and then I asked what compromising scenario would be for her, and she told me that there is none.
No.
I feel like she's not open to meeting somewhere in the middle, and it's either me or influencer at this point. There we go. We've got it all. Now what do we do? 8772 Radio U.
I also love his last comment. He says, can someone teleport me back to the 90s, please?
Man, what do you know about the 90s? He's not old enough, but 8772 Radio U. The wife has gotten, it sounds like, gone overboard with the influencing, and this guy is just not here for it. What do we do? 8772 Radio U. This is tough.
Yeah.
We need some good advice.
Yes, we do.
Has anyone been through this, or does anybody have any thoughts on what this guy can do, what kind of conversation they can have? 877-2 Radio U. We'll see what people are saying coming up in this Love 'Em or Leave 'Em. We are doing Love 'Em or Leave 'Em, where we have a guy who says he's been married for 2 years. For the past year or so of his marriage, his wife has started to build a social media following and has become basically an influencer where she's constantly posting, and it's kind of getting in the way of them doing stuff together because she always is focused on making content and not as much focused on spending time with him, and he doesn't want to be involved in the content.
Right.
What do we do? 877-2 Radio U. You want to start with Logan?
Yes. Logan, he said it's time to get rid of the influencer.
That's a leave him from Logan.
He said she's more focused on the camera to realize special moments with you, and the fact that she's not willing to work with you, and it shows her true colors, that she's not willing to compromise. Logan says he's never been in that situation personally, but then again, I wouldn't date an influencer, let alone marry one. Leave that woman. There are better women out there for you. I don't think, to be fair, that he knew she was going to be an influencer when he married her.
That's what he said, is that like they
came after.
were together for 5 years. They've been married for 1 or so.
Yeah.
And that's when she started to pop off on social media. So,
yeah.
He didn't know at the time. We also heard from Tim, who says she's hooked on a powerful addiction, just getting started even. Hard boundaries, balance with her. If she accepts no terms, offer none. Fight for her and you. You're an equal part of your marriage.
I like that.
Yeah. You got to set boundaries on that. I think that sounds good.
Right. I think that's some good advice. Heard from Dylan. He said, I've said it once, I'll say it again. You want to find someone you can live with, not someone you can't live without. All relationships need compromise, and without it, someone will not have their needs met and not be validated. They'll be dismissed and so on. It will take some boundary setting and serious talks, and if an agreement or compromise can't be made, then unfortunately, it isn't a relationship that can be saved.
Mm-hmm. What about... here's an idea I just had.
Okay.
Popped into my head. He's talking about this road trip coming up this fall, right? Where she's like, we should compromise. And then he's like, what do you mean compromise? And she's like, I don't have any ideas for compromise. She just wants to make content the whole time and says, spend time with him. So why doesn't he say, if you want to go on a road trip where you make content, then go do that without me? Like, maybe just say, like, if you're like, there needs to be, that could be a way of setting boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I really like, so my cousin Kathy, she texted and said something that I think is really good advice. She says, this lady needs to set consistent work hours just like a regular job.
Yes.
If you're going to be an influencer, it's a job. So set regular work hours. Any other job, people would not have work hours and designated home life. You know, they have the designated home life and work hour designation. She also says when you put your job over your marriage is not sustainable. I think that is a great way to move forward. Like, hey, honey, I get that you're doing this. This is something you're passionate about, and it's something that could ultimately change our lives. People can make a lot of money from social media, but you need to set work hours that this is when you work on the social media stuff. It can't be 24/7.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that is true. It's like some people think working from home or like having your own business, that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, you just make your own hours and you just, you know, if you just don't want to work that day, you don't work. But often the truth is that
people work at it all the time.
You wind up constantly working at it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you have to, like, that's not just for your marriage, but for your own health. If you're constantly focusing on making content and that's your entire life, you're going to burn out. And while it could change your life, also the more likely scenario is like she makes a amount of money from it that's not enough for you guys to live off of.
Right.
And so then you're like, how much is it worth pouring all this effort into it?
And she might eventually come to that conclusion herself. So I wouldn't write that off. She may eventually realize the work is too much for little return. So, like the ROI is not great with social media. So she may come to that conclusion eventually.
Yeah, we got a lot of other good comments here, but I kind of want to sum it up by saying I also feel like he's saying he wants to compromise, but I'm not hearing a lot of that. Like, what are you actually offering besides, like, what are you giving her?
Yeah.
Where you say you're supporting her, but whenever she wants to make content, it's like, I don't want to be involved. It's not that you have to be her camera guy for her, but like, I don't know. I feel like he's not compromising as much as he says he wants to. And what I will say is with social media stuff, there's a breaking point where eventually you become so comfortable doing it that you can that's just how you
live life that way.
Yeah, you're not creating content. You're just filming what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so she and you, like, you're really resistant to get anywhere near the content. But she may be coming closer to she's just living life and it happens to be on video.
Right.
And maybe the editing is eating into your time together. But like, I feel like you're so resistant to being a part of it at all that you're not going to get to that breaking point where you guys can just have a date and also it happens to be filmed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
They're
feel
in
like
two different spaces.
Yeah.
It's really tough to deal with an issue like this. But yeah, as many people have pointed out, there needs to be some compromise because you can't move forward without that.
Yeah. But both of you.
Both.
Yeah.
Absolutely both.
We're counting down to college football season. Cannot wait. And we just took one step closer by getting the Coaches Poll preseason rankings.
Woohoo! I'm so excited.
8772 Radio U. The Coaches Poll. These coaches, they know how to build some drama because they just so happen to have ranked Texas number 1 and Ohio State number 2. And oh, would you look at that? They kick off the season against each other on August 30th.
I mean, I'm definitely excited for that game. I already was. I didn't need a coaches poll to make me excited for it. But it does feel fitting and that they are, 1 and 2. But I would argue one that is the defending champion should probably be number 1. But it's fine. Underestimate us if you like. But yeah, I'm so excited for this game.
I mean, they both get a chance to prove it on the field.
They
so
do. These preseason rankings literally mean nothing. So
see, that was my instinct too. I was like, we shouldn't care about these at all. And I think that possibly becomes more true now that the playoff format is different.
Yeah.
But that said, since 2020, like since COVID, no team has started the season unranked in the coaches poll and gone on to win their conference.
Ooh.
Now, granted, now again, with the way the playoffs are, you don't have to win your conference
to make it in
and to win the championship. But I still think that's speaks to something that the coaches kind of know something.
Predictor. Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely predicts success.
What a big bummer if your team is not ranked in the coaches poll, because that means basically you have probably no hope of winning your conference.
I mean, these coaches they have their hand on the pulse of college football. They know what the good teams are going to be. It's the teams that have the money and the teams that have the talent.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we've seen. Now, are there outliers? There certainly will be that will move in and out of the rankings. But I think overall, you're going to see a lot of the same teams competing for the championship for a while.
Kind of the unfortunate thing of college football is that it just, in a way, feels so predictable because it's just kind of the same 6 or 8 teams that are there to finish.
I think less predictable now that you have a larger playoff format, because I don't know how many people would say that you thought Ohio State was going in after losing so terribly to Michigan and winning the championship last year. I certainly was shocked by what they did.
Yeah.
I knew they had the talent to get it done, but did I think they could go out there and get it done? It was honestly not completely predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's at that time when they did go on to win it, that was unexpected. But if you said at the beginning of the year, Ohio State's going to win the championship, everyone would have been like, oh,
okay,
yeah, that makes sense.
That's fair.
I also think this speaks to the predictability, or I don't know what it speaks to exactly. If you made the playoff bracket based off of, for this year, based off of the preseason rankings, only 3 teams would be different from last year.
Really?
And those 3 teams are Alabama, LSU, and Miami, not exactly newcomers. So that, it feels like you can keep expanding. Insanity is replaying college football over and over again and expecting a different result. You're going to get the same, 10 of the same teams from last year are probably going to be in.
Yeah.
And then the champion's going to be Georgia or Ohio State again. And
I'd be
It's so
shocked
fun
if
to
it's
enjoy
shorter.
the ride.
I'm not going to complain. Obviously, I'm not going to complain. I'm an Ohio State fan. There's literally nothing to complain about other than we can't beat Michigan. Hopefully that changes this year. But I am excited for this season, for this game to start off the season. I think it's just one of the best that we've had in a long time for a start to a season.
It is interesting. Because looking through, it feels wide open to me, and
Okay.
I think the reason, although again, it's going to come from one of the same 10 blue bloods, but none of them have like a really established quarterback. Like literally none.
Yeah.
Or at least that obviously Arch Manning is like the guy in Texas, but he's not played. Like,
we haven't seen much of him.
There's no quarterback. Somebody's going to say Penn State, Clemson, but like, do you really count on the like Drew Aller and Cade Klubnik and whatever and
No,
those
you
teams?
can't count on Cade Klubnik. Come on.
So I feel like it is wide open, and I don't know who's going to win. I have like
It's gonna be fun.
a month to figure it out. Allie, what would you say is the top reason you stay up later than you should?
Oh, it's always sports.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Sports is always the reason because, for instance, last night, my Cleveland Guardians in extra innings against the New York Mets, they end up winning, which is great. But it's always sports. Sports related.
That's a good point. That's probably my answer for me too.
Yep.
But I have here the survey of why people stay up past when they should. And it is not, the number one answer is not what I would think. In fact, so much so that I feel like people are lying.
Okay.
Because the number one reason, according to this new study of 2,000 people, the number one reason that people say they stay up past their normal bedtime is because they have unfinished chores. Really? You're doing chores?
Sure.
Yeah.
They're like, I have to clean.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Let me do the dishes.
We all know you're putting those off till tomorrow.
Yeah, come on. Stop lying. That was the number one reason. Number two was savoring nighttime quiet hours.
Yeah, I know I've talked with people that, if they have young kids, it's like that's the only time you get to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to take that time. It's precious.
What was there's a term for it, especially when you have kids, of where you stay up past your bedtime, even knowing that that you'll regret that in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it's like your chance to be selfish.
I don't know what the term was, but I know we talked
There's
about it.
Something about defiance or something like that. Yeah.
It's just it's a trend because a lot of parents, it's like that's the only time you get to yourself.
Yeah.
Or if you're married, that's the only time you get to spend together as a couple without kids hanging around. And so it's like you cherish that time, even if you're gonna regret staying up late later.
But I guess savoring nighttime quiet hours, well, that would kind of qualify as watching sports, right?
Yeah. I would consider, if you're like watching a movie, watching sports, or maybe even just on your phone scrolling, sometimes that can count as alone time, me time, or whatever. So I think there's a lot of different ways you could spend that time.
The number three reason that people say they stay up past their bedtime is avoiding the next work day.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Which
they
is
just don't want to go to bed.
Yeah, cutting off your nose to spite your face of like, if I go to sleep now, it'll feel like the next thing I do is work. But if I stay up, I get to have fun. I don't know. Like, I get the thought process, but just understanding that you're going to hate yourself in the morning.
Yeah, you're going to regret it.
Which this survey also found that for the average person, 3 days a week, they regret not going to bed earlier the night before.
Yeah, I think I was just sharing this with somebody else. Like whenever I have multiple days where it's like I'm not getting to bed at the time that I would like to get to bed, it compounds. Like it gets worse and worse and worse when you're, continually putting off sleep and not getting as much as you should.
It's crazy that it feels like it compounds where you go multiple days without getting enough sleep, and it feels like each subsequent day you get tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
But you don't actually bounce back from that by like having a night where you get a little extra sleep.
No.
That doesn't work that way.
No.
But you do get more tired as the more nights you skip out on sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. So
it's not fair.
It's not. It's never fair. Life isn't fair. If anyone told you it was, they were lying. But yeah, that's just it's a tough thing that we have to face.
Yeah, it's just, we've talked about this. It's all about compromise. Like even when you're going to bed, what time you go to bed.
Yeah.
you're compromising with yourself.
Right.
Like, am I giving up happiness now so that I'll be less upset in the morning? It's not even happy in the morning, so I'll be less upset in the morning? Or
Less
do I take
tired.
like full on happiness now and be even more upset in the morning?
Right.
Which compromise are you making?
Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.